this review, we have the DNA Design DK-57, and this is a kit for all three of the deluxe Rise of the Beast Autobots. Everybody gets a little bit of an upgrade. Wheeljack getting little side earpieces to make him look a little bit more like Wheeljack. He gets some arm blasters. Bumblebee kind of gets the least. He gets a battle mask and some larger painted arm blades. And then we get a lot of little pieces for Mirage to make him look a little bit better. So, out of the three, other than Wheeljack having a weird face, probably the guy that stands out the most is Mirage. He's got a lot of kibble, and he did have a pretty, he's got a very human form in the movie. So I'm not mad that they struggled to bring this guy to life. Um, a lot of the robot mode takes sacrifice so that the Porsche vehicle mode looks perfect. So I kind of get that too. Porsche really hasn't been licensing itself to Transformers until recently, so I get that they had to kind of appease them to make that work out. So let's get this kit open. I don't think we are going to have to have any screwdrivers or anything like that. I think this is all just pop apart. Um, this is what is in the package. It's pretty much what is shown off on the back. There is a nice big instruction sheet. We're going to start off with the small upgrades first, and then work for the larger upgrades. Let's do Wheeljack. Um, I don't even have this guy transformed properly. All right. So here are his parts. Now in the final battle scene, he's got kind of like a blink and you'll miss it type thing where you can kind of like when he's posed on the ridge and you see him and oh man, who was on the ridge with him? Arcee and somebody else, but you kind of see these little things pop out on the side of his head. It doesn't quite look like this, but this is probably a bit more extreme. So I'm pretty cool with this being official. So I thought this was going to be like a head swap, but you kind of have to break a pin. So the head is a, you can definitely tell that there's a seam, and the instructions say to lift up on the chin, and it kind of shows that there's a pin in the top that's going to snap. So I'm gonna do this off camera because this is going to be a bit difficult. Well, okay. If you pull hard enough, the head does come off. But it's basically saying to pry it from here, like grab a hold of the chin and pull it apart. This is not going to be easy. And it says to use a screwdriver and to be cautioned. So I'm going to do this and just kind of, yeah, I might need a flathead. So looking at the instructions a bit more, so what they're trying to say, let's zoom in so I can show this to you better. So there's a little nub in the replacement here, and there's a nub inside the cavity here, and that nub is creating the friction against the ball joint. So basically they're saying, don't don't mess with this. Basically you want to kind of get in past that nub and pry the head apart. Um, I don't know how they expect you to do this, but I'm gonna give it a shot here. It is slowly coming off, but it is also causing stress marks on the outside. Okay, so there is a seam, and as you're prying this, the seam will start coming loose a little bit, and I figured it just better to come here and basically wedge this in and turn. There is a pin at the top, and the instructions are saying this is going to break, no problem. You can still, um, this is still functional with the peg broken, which it is. So that was that was a little scary, and I don't know if this is picking up on camera, but there is some stress marks over here now. Or maybe those were there already. Maybe these are mold marks. I don't know. But basically, just slide this on. It's just friction. And put this back on the ball joint. That is tight. And the ball joint does not really interact with that front part of this head assembly. So there's that. And then you can take off this gun, which, good lord, that is a G1 Bumblebee gun. You can take this off. That is the gun he comes with, by the way. And you can put these little blasters on, and this is what you see him with in the movie all the time. He never has a pistol. Basically has one of those transforming gimmick guns. So now he looks a bit more movie accurate with the weapons, and the face is a little bit more Wheeljack like. Okay, so that's Wheeljack. Let's do Bumblebee next. He should be pretty easy. His battle mask just sits on top of his head. That's done. And then he's got two hand blades. The one he comes with is non-painted. So you pop these on. And now he's got that. I have trouble with this one for some odd reason. Okay. And that is it. Should have done him first. This was much easier. I know the stores somehow in the back. Yeah, here we go. You can just store that in the back. So that is Bumblebee. Pretty easy. All right. Mirage is going to be the most difficult. So let's try to lay the parts out. So these are guns. I think we can just leave those to the side. But it's all this foot stuff that we have to deal with. So they make this seem pretty easy. So he's got filler. Then we're going to replace his toes. And is that it? Uh, these are Bumblebees. Okay. So this is an extra gun for Bumblebee, so he can dual wield. And then this is an extra gun for Mirage, so he can dual wield. And this is actually Arcee's. Actually, both of these are Arcee's. That's what I get for not reading instructions. I'll get Arcee in a moment. So here's Mirage's pieces. Um, I thought Mirage was going to be more complicated. This is kind of basic. So he's got a uh, gap filler and just plugs in right there. I don't know that we needed these. I think I would have been fine without a gap filler. I mean, it's nice, but whoever's going to see the inside of his thighs like that. And then the feet, they just pop out. This is like a friction hinge with these little tabs. So, in trying to work this, I ended up just kind of popping his foot off here, which gave me a little bit better grip. You do want to be careful because you put too much force and jiggle in the wrong direction. It's something could break, but I ended up getting that popped off pretty easy. Um, Basically, just line up the feet in the same way where the uh, dumbbell is. The instructions will illustrate this pretty well too, but there's just these real tiny nubs. They're not very large. And then that will go on this foot. And I'm going to go ahead and pop this one off. See if I can do this on camera. I'm trying to be careful not to break this. I don't know that I'll ever need this again, but you know, just don't want to break it either. But you kind of want to pull and kind of angle at the same time. And it actually comes off pretty easy if you do it. You just got to be careful. And you're just going to pop the other one back in. Pop that in. And that is that. It does give him a little bit more character. I mean, it makes the feet more flush also. I'm not sure how this worked before. Because it is quite higher off the ground. You kind of see a stress mark there from me twisting it. So even though it's simple, it does look better. Yeah, I think that looks pretty cool. And then he's got the extra blaster now. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time getting it in his hand. Okay. Yeah, this may make him a tad bit shorter, but I think that does look better than just the plain feet that he had before. Um, yeah, I think I like that better. Okay, so we determined this was Bumblebee's. So let's change up the blades. And now he can dual wield these two guns. And then the blades do have storage on the back, I believe. I don't know where these store. I don't see any tabs back here. Anyway, there's lots of scenes where uh he's using both blaster hands, so that's cool. And he's got the extra arm blades too. All right, so Arcee. She came with a weird little blaster. So we're gonna take that off. And now she's got some blasters that better match what she had in the movie. And she's got two of them. So now you can better recreate the scene at the end of the movie where we see her dual wielding her blasters. She does it in the Peru scenes also, but all right. So Wheeljack ended up being the most difficult to deal with. Everything else I thought was pieces were mostly guns. Mirage's pieces were actually very uh, simplistic, but yeah, it does. At least his legs look less funky now. Well, his feet, lower part of his feet, look less funky. And he still got all this backpack, but you know, it is what it is. So there you go. Definitely a kit worth getting to make these studio series look a little bit better and worthy of putting in a collection and seeing them along with the other figures. Let me know what you think in the comments. As always, tune into more videos coming up. And if you haven't done so, please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you.